All right, let me get this stuff set up, and then we'll get the going. I'm hoping this one is more chaotic. I'm really hoping that a couple people pop in. We can make this a fun one, just to do some old versus shit, just kind of like discuss and debate. I think it'd be fun just to kind of go over it, because even if it's like nothing wild, like I feel like conversation wise, we could like just go over something that'd be fun in general to talk about. I had one that I came up with earlier that actually I think is pretty interesting. I don't want to go into spoilers until we actually kind of get stuff going. But once we kind of get everything laid out, I figured the first bit we just kind of get this stream kind of just underway. Do the normal hellos. Oh, hang on, there we go. It's a good thing I muted. I hate it when it like doubles my voiceover and then it goes through my headset, goes back through my whole system. I wonder, it's like if it heard it through there, but then I heard it through the stream, would it then go through the stream later, but then go through here and just keep playing the same thing? I don't know. I'm not willing to test it. But one second, let me get this all set up. I just got one cat in here today. She's just chilling. We're spending some quality time together. Rue, can you sit down? You chew on that, I'm gonna flick you. But let me just get stuff posted. We'll just kind of generally chat, see who's willing to come by, come hang out. This is like a nice Saturday evening. I know there's some weebs out there that are just bored, and they've been seeing some recent feats and events and chapters, and they want to talk about stuff. I'm hoping that Genai and Kotetsu do decent enough that we can give like a actual like, oh yeah, who'd they win if they fought these guys instead? I mean, they're obviously like alchemists, and like infinite stamina is going to be difficult for anybody to fight. What's up, Kimano? I'm gonna unmute in the voice chat in a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of get the the hellos and what's ups and getting everything kind of just settled, and then after that we'll get stuff in, because I know Toxic, he was gonna join, so I'm waiting for him to respond too, and then I don't know, maybe I can get Broku to join. I'll probably send him a message in a little bit. I have no idea. He's not caught up with 100 Years quest, though. I mean, there's Toxic, but I mean, you could still do general good conversation around it. But as of right now, we're just going to get stuff rolling, see who's popping in, see what we got going on. If you've got any matches that you want to talk about, I mean, get them prepped up. There's going to be obviously some people more in the voice chat that they're going to be able just to put their ideas there. And then everybody else just put it in the stream chat, and we'll go over it. The first one, I'm going to put it up there. I talked about it on Twitter, so I'm very curious as to the general opinions of what people are going to kind of have around it. Because I feel like it's pretty clear cut, but I think it's still an interesting conversation just to go into. I'll put it up there in a second, but it was Aetherius Dragon Force Natsu and Baryon Mode Naruto. But the thing about that it's a little kind of wonky, is that Natsu's form, though his strongest to date, is not his peak. Like, as he gets stronger, the next time he goes into this, he's going to be stronger than what we saw before. Assuming it's with the Ignia Flames, we don't know where he's going to be if he can like achieve this on his own, where he would be at and relative scale. It's hard to say. But I mean, given the general idea of where it's at and then where he's at now, it wouldn't surprise me if he can pretty much do this on his own at some point without Ignia. Because like Naruto this is peak Naruto. This is him at his absolute strongest. He can only use it once, and afterwards it just kind of fades out. Because how long does Baryon Mode last? Like in terms of time limit, I guess I don't actually know. Because I don't know if there was like a set amount that he was given. Was there? Kinmono, I know you would know. Is there a set time that Baryon Mode goes on, or is it pretty much just till Naruto is done fighting or he runs out of chakra? I'm not too sure. Because the thing is, like, both Naruto and Kurama have a large chakra pool. So then it's like combined as a, what was it? Nuclear fission, the way that it works. Professor Kurama. That it's like he should have a large supply, but I mean, I guess burning through all that pretty much at once is going to put you, even though it's a large amount, the fuel burn is going to be a ton. So we'll see how it is. One thing actually that's really interesting when you think about it too is like Natsu had all these horrendous burns on his arms wherever his flames were touching. But it's like that means they burnt through the dragon scales, which is actually pretty wild when you think about it, since under the claws he did have dragon scales set up. Give me a minute. Yeah, okay. Don't worry. We're just kind of getting this set up, just kind of doing like hellos and see what's going on with everybody. I don't expect it to be too wild. And then afterwards, we'll kind of just generally chit chat of what's going on. What's up, Gemstone? How you doing, man? How you doing today? Has it been a while? I know it's like I'm trying to get my general consistency back. The streams, like one thing with the stream too, is I was like getting ready to go because I was gonna do it like an hour ago, but I wasn't tired, but I just felt like I wouldn't have total energy, so I just went to the store. I had to get a couple things at the store anyway, so I just got an energy drink real fast. I'm like halfway through it, so I'm just gonna kind of burn through that and be ready for just the general conversation, get things going. When we get some more people popping in, coming and chilling, and seeing what exactly kind of idea wise they have to offer. I know the other one, just kind of to give an idea of what I was looking for. Oh, actually, let me see how I sounded this stream really fast. I was like getting ready. Oh, it's super loud. Let me move my mic away from this fog. Wish you guys told me. The volume comparison videos, you are correct. I should get back to that. Let me turn this down a little bit. I feel like this is super loud. Fucking Streamlabs, man. But I mean, I should get back to that. I'm trying to think of the last volume comparison I did. So I know I can't be too many behind because 100 year, or not 100, Eden Zero volume covers only come out like once every 3 months, right? It's like once every like 2 or 3 months. I don't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, still, that's still a large amount. Not a large amount, sorry. That's a large amount of time to go between them. And I think I did the one before last. I'm not 100% sure, obviously. Like, I'd have to double check on when exactly it was. I'm sure somebody can just tell me. But it is what it is. I will get back to it, though. Like, I haven't forgotten. Like I said, I'm trying to get a lot of my content generally back up. My volume was too high. Well, I appreciate people telling me. Sob, are you going to join the VC or what? I'm going to try at some point to convince Josuke to join his stream. I know he's got a lot going on. He's a busy guy, but I'm going to see if he can pop in and come hang out at some point. I need to get caught up on stuff so he can join. I don't know what he's been reading lately. I know he's got probably has got a lot to say really about the recent events in Black Clover. Talk about all this stuff going on with freaking switching magazines, Noelle getting not sidelined, but I feel like Noelle is definitely going to get the short end of the stick, and just kind of how Tabata does a lot of things in comparison to like Asta, and then Mars. I know he's got a lot to say about Mars. I mean, it's like Mars being joined into events right now feels, I want to say it honestly feels right now that Mars's character is probably forgotten about. Like, the most I feel like we're going to get is going to be at the point where, like, it's like end series and we have one of those, like, let's just, show a scene of different areas to kind of, like, give us an idea of, like, where things are at. Like, if Mars showed up for, like, the Morse fight or something, I would actually be really excited. I think that would be great. Like, even if it's for just, like, a scene, just because I always liked Mars, and I've been always on the boat for Mars coming back and getting to do stuff. I did laugh because I realized, like, we never saw that Spade General. And it's like, even more so now, it's like, what's 0% chance we're ever going to see him? Like, it's just literally going to exist on the outskirts of the series at this point. Also, if you guys got any versus ideas, you got any matches you would like to talk about, like, just post it in the chat, and we'll get things, going. I think the Baryon Mode Naruto and EDF Natsu is a good one. The other one I had, because I meant to get the spin wheel. I might do it once other people, at least like a couple pop in, and then we can go from there and let them kind of take over at least a little bit. But it was the Fallen Angel version of Male versus Paladin Morgan. So you have these two light dark angels. Obviously, Morgan is way more so just like a angel using, and I know he's a paladin, but you know what I mean, using darkness. Whereas like Male was both light and dark fused into one being. It was way more so balanced into the two. It's gonna be a little weird. I actually like that idea just because it's a weird matchup. And I feel like both of them have advantages over each other. Like Morgan obviously being smarter in terms of general combat, but Male has just a better, I would say a better moveset in general. I mean, we really don't have much right now for Morgan. We got a little bit. I mean, his light and dark swords are pretty sick. Why so late? Dude, it's like 6 o'clock where I'm at. That's like, I told you, like, the plan is for my streams generally to be at different time frames. That way other people can join in. Like, I think it was early last time I streamed. Or was it later? I don't remember off the top of my head. This cat is upset. She wants to leave. But I'm supposed to keep her in here. What do you think of the recent chapter My Hero? I actually enjoyed the All Might versus All for One fight. I think it's cool. I like that All Might is doing something. I mean, one thing for sure is All Might 100% needs to die. Like, I will be very surprised if All Might lives through this. It'll be really strange if he does, just given the context of where he's at. But I mean, that's obviously up to Horikoshi. I feel like it would make sense, or the most sense rather, if he died, just because like he's way past, I feel like, where he should be at this point. But I mean, I could be wrong on that. He might change his mind. He might decide to do something wild with these guys. I feel like it would make more sense to just let things kind of go. Because I mean, with All Might, I just don't really understand what the point of keeping him alive would be at this point in the story. Like, he's way past, I think, where he should be. But it's like, okay, well, what's the reason? I feel like this is the reason. The reason is he's going to be out here fighting, you know, in a mech suit rather than fighting his actual whole setup with All for One. Which I think, again, makes sense. But it's going to be difficult just to see how Hori sets it up if he doesn't plan on killing him. So I don't think that characters have to die for an arc to be good, but I think if a character logically is set up to die and there's no out for them, then they should just go, especially if they're past where their character has value in the series from a writing standpoint. And I just don't see what the point of keeping All Might alive after this point would be. Because with like Bakugo, I get it. With All Might, it's like All Might, a lot of people expected him to die, 200 chapters ago or whatever, whenever that fight was. But it's like, okay, well, he was kept around for pretty much like character content with Deku. But I'd say specifically for setting up this stuff, because the stuff with Deku could have easily been expanded through, like, maybe not all of it, but maybe like flashbacks, or you have something like, say, like for instance, like instead for like when Deku was like in a vigilante, you have something like, I keep saying like, you have something in a set to where similar to, say, like, I did it again, similar as to another series, but Star Wars with Luke and Obi-Wan, not like a straight Force ghost, but to what Deku would be, because obviously Deku knows a lot about All Might. So in his head, if he had essentially an idea like all the time, oh, this is what All Might would have said in response to what I'm doing. Like, even if it's like, you know, see, I keep doing it. Even if it's set up to where it's just in his head, I think that would be really cool, because that gives him a very interesting idea of where his character is at, and where his character is not just like in terms of in response to his own self, but mentally in general. I think that would have been really cool. But this bit right here with the whole mech suit and him just doing a final stand, I think is cool. I do agree that the tech does build a little bit of an issue in the verse, just because it's like, well, why aren't people without powers using these more? But it is what it is. What's up, Happy the Assassin? How's it going? Imagine Yakuto turns into a fat flying gecko like Zankro said. Now we'll be fine. Fraud might legit ruin the power scaling of the robot suit. I mean, that's like a super high-end mech suit, though. So it's like the power of that specific suit is because of obviously it being a super high-end piece of technology. But I mean, like, in general, like, Quark Tech or whatever the fuck it's called, having that on a standard casing for people without powers, I feel like would make sense, but it isn't really a thing. Like, why is there not? Maybe this is something for the future, and this is something that I'm surprised never really happened in My Hero. Unless I'm wrong, correct me. But why isn't there any quirkless villains? Like somebody who is more so a tactical, maybe a manipulator, but uses the people around him or technology to be a villain, rather than just straight up having powers. I know there's stuff in the movies. I don't remember anything about the movie villains. Like, I don't remember anything about this. It's like I don't remember the first villain at all. The second one I know is the guy with the mask that he like controls the weather, and the third one is that blue genie looking guy. Looks like Will Smith. Bakugo legit edge shot as his heart. That is one of the worst twists. Like, could you imagine? You're like, well, I guess I'll sacrifice myself for this near school shooter bully who harasses all these kids. Let me go become his new like source of rage. It goes until Naruto runs out of chakra. Okay, that's what I assumed because that made the most sense to me. Almond is a fan favorite character, though I highly doubt Horikoshi's gonna. If he doesn't kill him after this, that'll actually be really disappointing. Because his character makes sense to die here from a writing standpoint. And I feel like keeping him around just to keep him around isn't a good plan. Because it's not like, say, Makarov. Makarov's an old dying guy with heart issues. Something that he can work through. Whereas All Might has been dying since day one. And he's like, what, in his early 30s or like 40s? And on top of that, he's in the second his suit goes, he should be dead. What could save him? Deku's preoccupied. Who would be able to help him? Unless we just get like a massive slew of fodder come to the All Might's aid. But I don't really like that. Because then it's like, well, what's going to stop All Might from just killing all these fodder? One for all. And then it's like, well, you just sacrificed a bunch of innocent lives to help some guy who's already dying and already near the edge. That, I think, would be strange. I wouldn't really get that, but it would honestly ultimately depend on Horikoshi did it. I just don't really think that Horikoshi should do that. Because there are times when a character... It'd be like after Whitebeard's missing half of his face and shot up and everything, but afterwards he's okay. He's like, damn, this sucks. Or like Ace... I mean, Ace... You could have written Ace living and it makes sense. I think with how Whitebeard was and how badly he was damaged, it'd be like, well, how does this man get out? And on top of that, it's like, why keep this old dying man out who's already set up to die? And on top of that, like, he just showed up too. So it'd be like, well, this is even weirder. All Might obviously is different. But at the same time, it's like All Might's character... Like, it would make more sense and it would complete his character to wrap him up here. Why don't they give, the plans, let her make one for Deku too? I don't know. I have no idea. Why aren't they giving them more to people so they could have more fighters? I think Satoru's new unlimited technique will do the job. He's screwed on his last leg and smiling. I mean, I'm sure he's okay. What's really going to be too much of a problem with him? Did they say what this new Cursed Spirit can do? I don't know. I haven't read the translations yet, the fan translations. Let me pull it up and see if there's anything about it. Is there anything online? Let me see. Is it already translated? I think so. What does it do? I'm just trying to read this really fast. Oh, this is some super fused creature, okay? I didn't know if this was a brand new one. Oh, Kenmano, thank you for the $20 super chat, my guy. You versus Quan, you versus Nancy, Musashi versus Asta. See, I gotta get caught up on Orient. But I mean, one thing. Let me ask real quick: are the weapons in Orient magic, or is it a different power source? Because I would have to know first off if anti magic would even affect it the same way as it would a normal character. Because if Musashi has skill and Asta doesn't have the anti magic advantage, Asta's gonna get crushed unless the like stats for Musashi are bad. I doubt it. I assume that if you think he's good against Asta, even in theory, that he should have a generally good kind of like area that he is strength wise. Also, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate the super chat. I gotta figure out what is a good stretch goal because like we already have the $500 one, but I feel like we should have something at like 300 or 250 because we've already met the one for my mic. We're at what 122 right now after Kimano. Again, thank you, Kimano. Appreciate it, my guy. I can use. Yeah, I am gonna read Orient Musashi versus Meliodas. It's the same argument, I think. Well, he has regeneration. I need to see what Musashi can do because where I left off, like where the translations were at the time, he just got his sword and then the whole obsidian, I don't remember the exact name, like the obsidian goddess lady, I think, ended up taking over his body. I think it was his body. Like, right? It took over and then like made that like big hole in the sky after like combining all their powers into one super attack. I remember I liked the one dude with the spatial cutting sword. I thought that guy was cool. Gains a chimera of old spirits and before. Okay, so but like power wise, what does it do? So Natsu after Zeref blue is okay. I'm just gonna scroll past that one. There's the magic. It's a different energy source. I would have to once I get caught up. It's gonna depend on whether or not I think fair wise you would equalize the energies, but we'll see. To what I remember, it wasn't magic or anything like that. But at the same time, like I said, I read last time I read Orient was like 2 years ago. In a versus battle, reverse curse technique should count as anti magic. No, I don't think so because you're just doing an altered version of with their other energy source. I wouldn't put that as anti magic. There's like an idea for it, but I mean, it would be more towards like negative mana, if anything else, rather than anti-magic. Because anti-magic is different than negative mana. I know we never really got a whole lot of explanations on it, but I feel like anybody can read the series and know that they're different. Because like I thought for a while that was going to be the reveal that it wasn't anti-magic, it was Asta wields negative mana, and Libe just had so much negative mana, it was essentially like its own power. I wish we had something more like that. I've actually never been a big fan of anti-magic on the main character just because it's too much of a fix-all kind of thing. I think negative mana would have been cooler. Let me see. Unlimited hollow technique. I mean, we'll see. I feel I just got to it. We'll see how exactly that works. I feel like it makes sense for him to do something new. My guess it'll be something like he can, instead of being able to do hollow purple as like a frontal blast, if you remember like his fight with Toji, at one point he did his, I don't remember if it was red or blue, I think it was red, where he spun it around and did like just pretty much a 360 destruction of the area around him. If he did that with purple, like he did an AoE that just shot like it just was a tidal wave with him as the epicenter, and it's just like this big AoE erase. I think that would be really cool. Think of like, I gotta figure out how to erase me saying like all the time. Think of Langris, but instead his whole spatial magic erasing, it did like a pulse. Like it just went all around him instead of like a defensive little bubble. I feel like that would be more so. I mean, that would catch him, I would imagine. Is something, I mean, does it say what the power is again with Aikido? Let me double check, because I didn't see that in the chapter. Because I know Mago Rama or whatever, it adapts. Like, it will just adapt to your power, so after a while, the same abilities aren't going to work on it. But it's the other one. Did they give it an ability, or right now is it just like a really big, tough Cursed Spirit. Or I guess not Cursed Spirit, but you know what I mean? Shikigami or whatever. Hope my blue-eyed king Gojo will not die. He's my favorite still character in the series. It's really weird. I actually am not too sure where this fight will go because Kenjaku is still present. And to be honest, I feel like Kenjaku should be above Sukuna. Like, after absorbing Tengen, having all this time with, in terms of power grind, all the different types of pretty much one-trick abilities he's got up his sleeve, I think it makes a lot of sense if he's got essentially like maybe not direct power, but overall is just a stronger character with more up his sleeves. Lightning and claws that cut special grades. I mean, that's still dangerous, I guess. I didn't know if there was something scary ability-wise. Here's a good matchup. Male Starosa versus current Asta. What was, see, it's like, I could see Asta winning. It depends, though. I gotta double check what exactly does Estarosa's, like, his weapons all did. I remember he had, like, the flute that did, like, a large AoE. He had a scythe, I think, that could temporarily turn off your magic. I'm trying to remember. Let me go look really fast. I'm trying to remember if it's going to be listed on Estarosa or Male, though. I really like that form. It made me so happy. Okay, let me see. Light Ball of Love. I think that's just the AoE one. Yeah. Tyrell's Commandment. Let me see. Hang on, stop. Freaking wiki page. Excuse me. I'm trying just to read these. I literally just want to know what they are. See, he's got Twin and Light Dark Blades. Literally the same thing that Morgan has. Obviously, they're two different characters, and it's not like he invented it, but I mean, like, dang. Ooh, you know what I actually really liked? Where is that? The Heat Saucers. Is that the right guy? Or right one I'm thinking of? Or I'm thinking of the one where he had it as a dark weapon. Because I remember at one point, I think he made the blade on his hand, but I don't remember if that was just in that one scene. I'm trying to figure out where it is, because I really want to just read what, like, I know he's got other abilities. I just want to read what his cool, what his commandment buff powers were, because I actually really liked those. I remember when they were coming out, I thought that was pretty cool shit. Let me see. Light Ball of Love. Yeah, that's the destruction one. Effects of convert to pain. Opponents are feeling turns it into pleasure. It just makes opponents grow weary and fall asleep where they die. So that's a pretty good power. Material as a commandment summons a bell which nullifies any illusions. Okay. The commandments material summon a scythe which marks the victim. The commandment seals their magic. Then commandment materializes and takes a great instance with smoke paralyzes victims held down. But see, because he's got a really good set of utility. And that's what I liked about him too. Like, the Demon King didn't have a shit. The Demon King didn't have a shit. His abilities were just all ass. See, you say that, but I mean, like, he's got a better moveset than Paladin Morgan, to be honest. Yeah, Killing Saucer. That's what I was thinking of, not the Heat one. He's got an overall better moveset than Paladin Morgan. Paladin Morgan has... I'm trying to think of what his scary... I mean, he should... I can't even say he scales higher, because, like, he hasn't really done anything crazy other than cut up Yami. But, I mean, like, Yami doesn't have a ton of mana. Like, Yami's technique, and then he's got broken abilities like Dimension Slash. And most of the people in his verse don't have the physical fortitude to withstand a death thrust. So it's a little hard to kind of gauge him in comparison. But, I mean, we already had him saying that that Morgan's output with darkness was better than his. So I would imagine that he's fine with it. I really doubt that Yami could really do anything solo if you know, base power to power, he's already getting outgunned. So it looked like he was about to get destroyed if nobody else showed up. If let me see. Okay. Sorry, I just got an email. Agree that Mei's crows got more durability than Yuji. Well, didn't they die pretty easily when they fought? What cursed spirit was that off the top of my head? The one that they fought in that in the tunnel. So I remember that fight, but I don't really remember the whole thing. I just never got the chance to fight him. So I really wish that Mei was the final villain. I thought it made the most sense for him to be the big enemy. Because with him, I mean, Seven Deadly Sins at his core is it's like demon and angel, Romeo and Juliet. So having a character who is in between and making a love triangle, this guy who lost his chance, but also sits between the two clans with light and darkness put into one instead of, it's like, oh, why have both at the same time? It's like they're fused and driving him insane. But on top of that, it's like per commandment, he was like advancing and evolving, and that shit was so cool. I loved when he got like the whole like robed hooded priest set. And then, like I said, each commandment was a different item that he could summon and added a dangerous effect. I thought that was great. I really liked that. Like, that was one of my favorite parts of Seven Deadly Sins to read at the time. That's because I got mad when he got shafted. Because, like, that, to me, it was like, why? Because Mail really didn't need to do anything in the series. Like, he could have just left him alone. Like, he didn't need Sunshine back. Please don't skip the Shiki comment. Dude, you say a lot of sus stuff. Is she gonna Horde do unison right on Miss Nebula attack? I mean, I can't even remember off the top of my head. Does Eden Zero have a unison raid equivalent? I don't think so. Anyway, to anybody who is interested in joining, let me post the Discord link. So we'll get started in a minute. Let me post the Discord link if anybody's here who hasn't joined yet, and we'll start getting set up and actually talk about some of these versus matches. So I want to primarily hear what other people's takes are and like what matches they have in mind. Because I mean, obviously I got stuff in mind already, but I mean, what is it? Just today, I thought of the whole Male and Esterosa. I mean, no, sorry, Male and Paladin Morgan. Oh, you back here getting food? Okay, I can wait a minute. I got stuff I can just kind of go over with people. I can do a quick reshill of what's been going on. So for those who haven't, either that they are here and they haven't been to any of the recent streams, or if somebody is tuning into the stream later in the day and maybe hasn't watched my other ones, maybe like, oh, this is the newest one, so I'll watch this one and get back to it. But right now, so we actually already met the first goal. So this is, I imagine you can tell, not my main mic. My main mic broke, and I had to get set up for a new one, but I had other stuff going on. So I was like, okay, the plan will be, if we want to obviously keep me consistent with uploading, I'm going to need a new mic. So in exchange for me setting up these, I mean, it's not even exchange, I guess, really. It's like me trying to just generally earn it from the support of people. It's not like I'm holding you guys at gunpoint. But we already met the $100 part of the goal for getting the new mic. We're at 122 right now. The big stretch goal, and I got to come up with a middle goal, but the big stretch goal is at 500. If we can get to 500 by around the 10th or 11th, then I'll get my camera set up. I'll get this green screen I have set up, and we'll start doing like actual content with me on the screen. I'll do like some reaction general stuff. We'll do stuff like watch some of the death battle videos. I know the Fairy Tail ones are really bad. We can maybe do some just general content, like when any anime trailers, obviously 100 Years Quest primarily, comes out. Or we can just maybe do some fun stuff. Like, it'd be fun. It's, actually, I gotta figure out how I would even do this without getting in trouble. I was gonna say, set up like a way so it's like you guys could pick the background through like a super chat or something, but I feel like you guys are just gonna pick inappropriate stuff. It would have to be like out of a list of approved pictures, and you guys just get to pick which one. Something that'd be funny. Sting versus Yami. I mean, Sting counters, and Sting could just put hands on him. The thing about Black Clover is they do not have great physical durability and strength. I mean, a Dragon Slayer, especially one that could just get up right close to him, is going to just slap him a few times, and then Yami's going to pass out. I know some people are interested, some people are not. Like I've said, obviously everything when it comes to donations is just as donations are. Not required. It's out of the kindness of the people that decide to, as well as it's, to me, not a, hey, keep streaming, here's money to keep streaming. It's more of it's like, okay, you did good today, or you've done good the last couple days at keeping me entertained. Here's like whatever, a couple dollars, or however much you guys feel. Even if it's like $1, always appreciated. But like I said, I'm gonna be going anyway. Like the next one after today will be Monday. I have to figure out whether or not I'm gonna do a Tuesday stream, just because Tuesday there's no Fairy Tail chapter. So I'm not 100% sure on the Tuesday stream for this coming week. But for sure, we're going to be doing otherwise Monday, Thursday, Saturday for it. Sting would eat the paladin. Yeah, so like Sting just has better abilities. And then on top of it, I mean, he doesn't have White Shadow Dragon mode regularly, as far as we know. I'm hoping that's something that will get cleared up in 100 Years Quest, to get something just for an explanation. Okay, well, what happened to Sting and Rogue afterwards? I feel like it makes a lot of sense that they trained it and trained so they can do that normally, but I don't know. Oh, from what I've read, though, I mean, from what I've read, too, I didn't see the last part. From what I've read, I would say, Asta and Meliodas win, but where I left off, like I said, he just got his sword. So I don't know where Musashi gets to. I know that there's probably like a crazy level he gets to, but I haven't obtained there yet. I actually will probably catch up on Orient soon, because I've been wanting to read something new. Like, I ended up binge reading Gachi Akuta, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I'll probably do that with Orient soon. As I remember, I really liked Orient's weapon styles. Did you see the commandments comment? I'd like your opinion. Where the commandments comment? Let me see. Is that a person? I didn't see anybody named Commandment in here. Yeah, what are you talking about? Do you see the commandments comment? I have no idea what you mean. Just retype it out. Just get that bitch posted on here. So, as we go in, are there any general matches otherwise that people have to really kind of go? I know, like I said, I really like the idea of Barry in mode Naruto versus EDF Natsu, but I feel like Natsu destroys. Because I was hoping there was going to be at least a couple people more on Naruto's side, but it doesn't seem like anybody really is like, yeah, he's got it. It seems like everybody involved knows that Natsu's where he sits, and then General Hack's on top of that. So I don't really know what his plan would even be at this point, to try and fight somebody who's got a crazier power ceiling. And on top of that, Natsu's fire should burn the chakra, so it'd be a little bit difficult to think of the new Boruto chapter. I mean, I thought the chapter was cool, I guess. Like, it wasn't crazy. I don't know, people were hyping it up like it's some genre-breaking whole establishment of shonen. It's like he just got older. He had a cool line, and nothing to try and carve into the sky. Like, I feel like a lot of it is those people that once a character starts just looking depressed, they think that that's the coolest shit ever. Like, depression is peak character development, which, no. I don't understand. Like, I understand where people are coming from, but it's like those are the guys that see a character who's happy and they're like, this guy isn't. There's nothing just happened. He's the same guy, and then it's like you try and explain anything to them. It's like, nope, they don't care. Their only idea of character development is when people start making a sad face whenever they enter a fight, and their eyes are just dead as they wait for people to stop talking. If Male is an angel, could he handle 3 to 4 commandments? That would be possible. The demon to handle a blessing 1 or 2. I assume that they would. Depending on the level, they'd be able to maintain 1 or 2. But I honestly think as well, Male could have gotten more. I think that he was just going to keep evolving and adapting. Maybe his crow's been surviving multiple Sukuna Gojo domains. I mean, with that, I mean, you could just fly out of their range. And on top of that, like, are they even hitting them? Because I don't really think Gojo's going to be targeting him. He's been doing a lot of stuff like altering his domain and trying to do just all this weird shit with it. Which makes me wonder, because I always assumed that your domain expansion was something like Bankai, where it had, like, it in its style was tied to your powers, and it was kind of not predetermined, but once it's established, it's established. But it looks like, I mean, obviously Gojo's a different breed than the other people, but I mean, that does establish in the verse that they're like, you just kind of create it based off your mind. I mean, I don't know if that was already brought up before. I could easily be wrong. That was just something I was surprised about in this fight. Domain hits everything inside range, especially Sukuna. I mean, how do you know they were in range? These are like surveillance birds. They could be like way up, way over the skyscrapers where they just need to be looking down and then, oh yeah, zoomed in. We got this shit. I do find it very strange that like their roles right now are they're like spectators. They're just chilling and giving commentary on the fights. I get it, but it's like, damn, like this is just all you guys are gonna be good for a while. What happens if he loses? Like, what's your guys' plan? It'll be really weird if Sukuna loses and Gojo destroys him or like reseals him or whatever the plan is. You engrave your innate ability in the domain. Yeah, but it's like that's what I'm a little confused about because he's altering. I assume once you got your domain, it was pretty much going to be just that, and your powers and stuff come pretty much set too once you achieve them, don't they? Again, I don't remember off the top of my head. I haven't reread through Jujutsu Kaisen in a long time, and I like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm not a big Jujutsu Kaisen guy. So I'm not invested, I guess, larger scale to a point where I'm going to like read a bunch of additional content. Not additional content, I guess re-go through it. Random bird caught Frog Kuna jumping him 3 to 4, 3 versus 1 in 4K. Man, those birds, like, I wonder what she's going to do after this series. Maybe she can open up a surveillance company where she just hangs out with all these damn birds. Because I assume, well, no, because it's not that the curses would be gone. I feel like after all this, people like random curses are going to be no problem for a lot of these characters. Because, I mean, Yuji should be able just to go up and punch. Like, go up and just literally put his hands up and punch one of the cursed spirits, like a regular one, and take it on no problem. Especially with how many special grade people there are. I would like to see Yuta fight already. I know he's just kind of hanging out on the side, hyping up his boss. But I'm hoping he's going to actually be existent in the story as it goes. Actually, like, show up and do something. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of another fun one. I know Morgan versus May would be cool. I wish I had Broku and Quan in here. Because I know Quan would argue that pretty strongly. Let me see if I can get him. Let me see if I can get him on Twitter real fast. If you guys could do me a favor, all right? Are you listening? We'll be quiet about this one. I'm gonna post it onto Twitter. If you guys can all anybody who's here, I'm gonna post it in the stream. Go there and then just at Broku and Quan and tell their goofy asses to get in here. I know they're probably busy, but we'll at least make a slight attempt to harass them a small bit. One second. Let me get this going. When did he have the light and darkness swords? Let me see real quick. Estarossa, light and dark swords. Because I remember him having something similar, but I don't remember what it looked like off the top of my head. Otherwise, I have to go to, where the chapter is. That might be what I have to do. Because I don't see it. Man, I really liked his general design. Once he got it, the half black and half white wings were so cool. I get so salty. I wonder what the stories would be like, for certain character plot twists like that. Like, what do you think Fairy Tail would be like if Mystigan was not Edoa's Joel? Like, he was another character. I always really liked the what if part of the story if it was, if you had, say, I'm trying to snap my fingers. If he wasn't caught in the time skip, obviously he wasn't, but you know what I mean? He stayed behind. He's like Fairy Tail's only really capable member. And so when we bring back him to 100 Years Quest to the Grand Magic Games, he's like a new leveled up person. I think that would be really cool. Twin light and dark blades. Let me see, because that has to be during the fight. I would imagine. So let me see. I vaguely remember where that is. I remember how angry I was because So it's funny. I know if Quan was here, I know if he was here, he would comment on it. But I never really liked King. So King ruining what I thought was the best plot twist in the series. I think my videos, if you go back to my videos on it, you can probably still see how pissed off I was. Like, I was really mad. Like, it put me in a bad mood towards the series. Because it was like that, and then the follow-up for the big villain was the Demon King. And I thought the Demon King was pretty awful. Like, I never liked the Demon King. I thought he was pretty bland. Let me see. They're getting wrecked by this dude. I want to see the whole Light and Darkness blades. Where are them swords? Where are them swords, guy? I know you have it in a panel. I'm looking. For anything, once they get through that, maybe we'll actually have, like, chat. Are you, reading Shibitarium? I don't know what that is. Who's more jail-worthy, Duranbolt or Mei? I mean, Mei's this with her brother, and Duranbolt's just like a creepy dude. But the thing is, Duranbolt gets stuff done, and he's capable. So it's like, Duranbolt is weird, but he doesn't have any direct crimes, whereas Mei has only crimes and is only strange. Like, I wouldn't trust her in general. Where is the Light and Darkness swords? Did he have that in a lower form? I'm gonna just scroll through the fight really fast. Because I want to use that panel. Because I actually really like the one of Morgan where he's got the Light and Darkness sword. I think that looks pretty cool. Let me go forward a little bit. Like, if Quan was here, he'd be able to answer the question. Like, I bet he would know exactly where I should be looking for it. Frickin' King. He'd be here defending King. And I'd just be slandering that nerd. I'm trying to see. I want the Light and Darkness blades, but unfortunately the wiki doesn't show any of, like, where that chapter specifically is. And I googled it and couldn't find anything. I'm trying to see. I know they get into his memories, but I think he has the Light and Darkness swords earlier. Like, I wish I had a 7 Deadly Sins pro here that could just tell me, like, oh yeah, it's chapter 273. And I'd say, sweet, thanks for telling me. Let me scroll back a couple chapters. Quan shovels his neighbors? Do you mean like he hits them with a shovel? I know Quan is very dangerous. Like, he didn't serve 5 years in prison for nothing. Ojo legit gave her millions in season 1. Dude funding a woman who grooms kids. Did he give her... What did he give her that much money for? Alright, I'm scrolling through. I'm gonna find this bitch. I know he's got this somewhere. Plus, I love seeing the art style of just, like, the pitched black beams and then, like, the twinkling kind of goddess arc shit. I thought that was pretty sweet. Let me see. And, like, the way it formed between his wings, too. It was so cool. I love the design. There we go. So I see the Light and Dark swords. Was this before? Luckily, I can scroll through this, because I see him have it, but I'm pretty sure the first time he uses it, there's, like, a name to it. Like, he just says, whatever, swords of light and darkness. Light, dark, swordsman. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong and that was the only panel. Fuck, I wish somebody could correct me and give me, like, oh yeah, it's also on this page. I'm looking. I'm gonna find it. Do you think Merlin would be killed by Arthur in the future? I hope so. The thing is about Merlin, I think her character makes sense to fit here because the way that her powers are, the way that how much utility she has, I always thought it was strange that she would be here. Like, why is she in the main cast kind of thing? She just seems too OP to be a main cast character because, I mean, like, she's got too many tricks. Like, why does she have so many things? Like, she's supposed to be, I mean, she's a good guy protagonist, but I mean, there should be a limit to keep her obviously not feeling invincible, because Merlin felt very plot device as a character. She's like, if all of my fears about Hibiki were true, and then on top of that, like, he was powerful by himself as a character, that would be what would confuse me. Like, Merlin, I think Merlin makes way more sense to be a right hand of one of the big villains. I think that fits more for character. Let me see. He's got the light and darkness swords, but does he still have that in the next chapter? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. I know it's not a minute ago, but I want to see if there's an actual panel where he talks about like the attack name. But I'm guessing is the answer to that is no. I'm gonna look though. I'm trying to find. I found the panel, but then the one that I wanted to show was not what I. Or the one that I found was not the one that I wanted to show. Let me see. Because it's before he goes and gets into that like light cocoon. But I'm gonna find it, and then I'll post to the stream. Where are you, light and dark swords? I'm about to sneeze 1 second. Okay, I'm good. Painter recommended students to grade 1 promotion since teachers aren't allowed to recommend their own pupils. Oh, yeah. So you are correct. I mean, yeah, but that's a business transaction. That has nothing to do with her as a character. Like, he knows that as a character, she's a fucking weirdo. Where is he? Where's this page? Alright, Mail, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get this panel. I know it's here. I know you're around here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. I literally saw it a few minutes ago. I don't think it has a name. Maybe that's why it's a little harder to find. I think it's just he has a light and a dark sword. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I might just be misinterpreting stuff. Kath Palug legit thought he was acting trying to devour ultimate power of his verse. I mean, that was not a good idea in his part. I mean, he got taken in return. He should have been more tactical about it. Like, why didn't he eat Arthur like all the times he was hanging on his head? Like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you letting this guy, why are you letting this guy live if you could end up handling it? Where's the light and darkness swords? Because I saw the panel. I'm gonna get the panel. And I'm gonna make sure that it's solid. 276. Like, I literally just saw it. And the thing is, like, I'm just, like, power scrolling through the chapters instead of thoroughly looking, but I might as well. No, why would I not? Let me see. 277. Is that what I'm looking for? Literally just want this whole, like, light and dark swords. But I think he comes out of that cocoon, though, already, and he's got the whole cloaked robe, and I know at least I'm pretty sure from what I remember, he doesn't have those while he's in that form. I need a freaking 7 Deadly Sins expert. Where's the Quan Credible? Let me see. Where are you? I should have put it on another tab just in case I didn't find what I was looking for on a different set. I know it's here. I'm gonna find that shit. Brother Bum Shiki's still a grade E adventurer. Shiki's fine. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't need a license to go on adventures. He's busy. He's got other stuff to do. He's got wars to fight. He's got people to handle. He doesn't have time to go and take a test. Can Noelle use Juvia's body for her spells, or is living magic different from regular water? Well, it would be water that has its own personality and its own will, so I don't think she'd be able to control it. My guess... Well, because Noelle's not like... She's not like a waterbender or just water in general. It seems more water of her own style. Because how many times has she, like, controlled a already existent body of water is, like, what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna find this panel, dude. How did I, like, find it and then lose it like this? It's literally just a panel where he's got some swords out. But I can't seem to find it. It has to be 276. I'm, like, aggressively trying to find this right now. But for some reason it's... There we go. Fuck. There we go. Okay. Man, I gotta update my computer software too. Escanor versus Kaido. That's actually a pretty solid one. Because if you didn't include like the one or the ultimate one, it'd be different. But I mean, I'm trying to think of what in terms of Escanor's like real scary attacks are. Because I don't think Escanor has anything that's scary just by getting hit, right? I don't think he has any hacks. Like his is mostly just straight power. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just can't think of anything top of my head that it's like he has some broken OP ability. Like his power by itself, in terms of just existing in the verse, is what makes like Sunshine is OP. But it doesn't seem like he doesn't have any of those like sneaky kill moves, like a hack's dangerous ability he can just kind of drop on somebody. Because one of those is really helpful, just in terms of obviously the concept of who you're fighting. But I mean, like, there are characters, Dante, for example, that will stand there, and if you have even if you're weaker, if you have a hacks that can end it in one go if it hits, I mean, that's just how it works. I mean, that's one of the reasons I think those kind of abilities are always good to have, because it prevents any of these guys from having these, like, moments where they're just, yeah, I know you're caught out, but I mean, I don't have any way to actually finish you off. So, like, Gajo's a really good example, because right now he doesn't have any of those types of abilities. Whereas, like, somebody say like Lucy has a lot of like minute hacks abilities. For example, she has Gemini, which can copy people, their abilities, and their thoughts. So if she lands it, then you potentially are just going to lose. Like, it's going to be hard to fight yourself, powers and thoughts and all. And on top of that, have additional spirits and things that they can do in addition to it, you know? Yeah, go at Broku and Quan. Go get them in this bitch. I want this one to be running. Doryu's Dan Slave, anything Urza's ever summoned? Well, Doryu doesn't really have Dan Slave, does it? I mean, I'm trying to remember his swords. He's got the Twilight Sword. Let me see. I'm just trying to remember his sword specifically. Because I know he's got a second sword, right? I don't think it's Dan Slave. I might be wrong. Because I actually haven't read that through that fight in a minute. I might do that soon. That actually would be pretty fun, to be perfectly honest. Twilight Sword, yeah, I know he's got the first one. It, like, damages you and it's harder to heal. What was the other one? Yeah, Jet Black Sword. It's the better one. Yeah, he doesn't have one like that. The Rune Knight is not showing anything. Showing to write any glyphs, calling its name, manifest, and pop smoke. I'm trying to read what it does. Darkest Sword, stronger as Twilight Sword. However, Harvest snapped it with the weight of Gravity Core. Okay, yeah, it's just a stronger version of his Twilight Sword. Yeah, I don't think he had anything wild with it when it, like, something like Dan Slave. Like, his sword is dangerous. Like, a sword that you can't heal from is still a really good sword. Prime Garp versus Prime Gildarts. I mean, it's hard to... We don't really have anything for Prime Garp. But to be honest, after we saw Garp's performance, I don't really see what he would do. I'm going to be very, very honest. I thought Garp was going to roll in and really show some moves. He had a couple of cool ones, but I mean, it was... Really, I mean, there was nothing that's that scary. There's nothing about it that seemed like, oh man, if somebody gets hit by this, they're done. I mean, the whole blue hole is kind of the only thing, but I mean, that really only applies to Devil Fruit users. Like, somebody like Gildarts, I mean, he's just coming out of that hole. What are they gonna do at that point? Let me I'm gonna app. Okay, you guys go with me. Go app Broku and Quan. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm feeling a little harassy right now, so we're gonna get them. I hear my dogs running outside. And let me get this old Quan Credible. Did you guys know Quan's French? He actually is a 75% pure French. Garp is trash. He did not like a single Blackbeard pirate. Well, so that's not true. He knocked them out for a little bit. Like, what is it? San Juan Wolf was definitely unconscious. The fact he didn't knock out Shiryu, I actually did not like. Because he got stabbed, and then on top of that, like, he hit the dude directly, like, slammed him into the ground, and nothing really came of it. Like, that was, to me, like, one of the things that kind of just made me go, eh. Because I thought Garp was going to be really putting his stuff. Maybe what Oda might do is he might have one other part with Garp where he has, like, a full, like, last stand. And the thing about this one is it was maybe like a last stand where he's kind of letting it happen because he gets snuck attack and then he's bleeding out while getting hit by these other abilities. I really felt like Garp got hoed. My fingers are crossed that the anime will improve it and they'll get more out of the events once they get to that part in the anime. Like, give a little bit more attacks, get a little bit, maybe some more backstory. I mean, some anime original scenes I feel like are going to be for sure. Like, Oda's been doing that. I know they've been improving a lot of stuff in the anime, which I think makes a lot of sense. Just hockey things. But I figured he'd be able to do some crazy things because he's been training with hockey and using primarily hockey to fight for decades. So you'd think he'd have tricks and moves that nobody really else would have, especially when it's like hockey combined with his fighting style. Like, for example, here's just an idea. What if he imbued his legs with Conqueror's hockey? So every time he steps, he's essentially doing like a shockwave of Conqueror's hockey offensively. Because I think that would be really cool. Or even just like Ryu. Like, I'm pretty sure... No. He's got Conqueror's hockey. Like, what am I talking about? Something like that where it's like he's just doing these passive attacks with him, I think would have been really cool. It's the loss of what I thought we were going to get out of that fight that makes me kind of go, eh. Just because I would like for him to get another fight, but there's also the chance that was the last fight, and realistically the only one we were going to get out of Garp. So if that is his last fight, that's probably the only thing we've got left for him. What he's got, like 2 or 3 techniques? Was it Galaxy Divide, Impact, and Blue Hole? I don't know if he had anything else. I guess like what are the Pirate Fireballs, but that's not really a technique. Sure, you got to kill Fraud Hawk and be Zoro's last opponent. I'm pretty sure that Mihawk would notice. Nah, I'm sure Mihawk's observation hockey would notice, unless like his eyes are like special to where he would be able to see him anyway. Like, I'm very curious as to what exactly Mihawk's... This is what makes me special. Because with Shanks, apparently Shanks can cancel out people's observation hockey. Or at least if... I don't know if he does it 100%. I feel like if you can do it at the point of messing with Future Sight users, because as far as I know, having actual Future Sight is the highest point in observation hockey, right? So he should be able to just pretty much neg anybody's observation hockey, in theory. So what does Mihawk have to make up for that? Like, what does he have in terms of his character? Because one thing about Mihawk that there's the potential for is that he's not entirely human, or he could be from some special forgotten race. Actually, I wish Sabo was here. Because this is something I remember in Whole Cake. There's like 3 races that Big Mom couldn't get, right? One of them is a Lunarian, right? So I'm wondering about the other lost races. And I don't know if any of them have already been named. Because, like I said, I have no idea off the top of my head. If anybody else is out there that knows. Otherwise, I'm going to have to at Sabo later and figure out what he's, what exactly he can tell me. I'm trying to see where is everybody. I mean, people seem to be busy today, which is bumming me out. I was hoping to have more of a community stream. I mean, if this one doesn't end up as the community versus stream, like we'll just plan it for a different day. Maybe that'll be Monday or Tuesday. and we'll just have it a little earlier. Because what I can do is potentially just talk to guys and get it planned out to where they're available. I was hoping that people would just pop in. But, I mean, if people are busy, I mean, what am I going to do about that? And if they've got other shit going on. But, as it were, just also real fast, I'm not gonna shield the donations. I will say though, if you guys want to get to that, the face reveal, content reaction, a green screen setup, it has to be something that not the fans, jeez, the viewers, like you as the viewers and commentators have to want. Because I put it as a goal. I put it as a goal for for you guys if you want it. I can't give it away goals if they're not met, because at that point, the people are just gonna know if I say something and then we don't meet it and I do it anyway, then nobody's ever gonna participate. The other race being one I wanted couldn't get was the ancient demon race like Or. Oh, the super giants. Well, wasn't it 3 of them though? It was 3 races, right? Giants Lunari. Oh no. Oh yeah, because he couldn't. She tried to, and then her daughter refused Prince Loki or whatever, so she doesn't have giants. Giants, Lunarians, and Sky People? What? Hold on. She couldn't get the Sky People? That can't be true. I feel like that one has to be a lie. Not a lie, but just like a mismemory. Because Urog is out there. He's just wandering around. And, how hard is it for, Big Mom can literally turn a cloud into a flying vehicle and go up there. And she has the power to get the information of where it is. Not like she just says, hey, go find this out. But, I mean, she easily has ways to comb for information, as well as the money and power to put out, find somebody who knows or pay somebody who knows, get us this info, let's get up there. Because the Giants, I understand the Giants and the Lunarians. Lunarians, as far as we know, there's only one real Lunarian. I mean, not really. One sec. Quan responded. I'm going to say, Quan, join the stream. I would love to talk about it, because that actually is an interesting fight. I like the whole light and darkness blades. I think they're cool. Rug isn't affiliated with her. No, but he's out there. And on top of that, he's one of the supernovas, so she knows. She knows that who he is. It's not like she's like, oh, I know him inside and out. But she knows that he's out there and he's making waves. So there should be the fact that she would go after it. Are you sure it's the Sky People? Because I just feel like that shouldn't be that difficult of a find for her. Like I said, I get the whole bit with Lunarians. There's no Lunarians. With Giants, that deal was fucked up. I don't know why she doesn't try again. Maybe it's because she's old. Good to see you. What's up, Telehim? How you doing today, my guy? What are you up to? Trying to get Quan to join in so we can talk about this. I actually think this would be pretty interesting. Because generally, I mean, you can put... I don't even want to say that they scale higher. Because, if you put Paladin... You put Paladin Morgan up against King, Gauther, and Diane, I don't think that he's making it out of there. Not a single Sky person was seen in her marriage. Wait, so are you assuming it's the Sky People? Or is that just, a honed down theory right now? Because I know the Giants, you saw the Giants was brought up in the plot, and then I think she mentions it, right, when it comes to King. Do you know the reaction channel RTTV? They recently started Fairy Tale and they seem to be enjoying it. I can look them up. I don't know if I've seen that. I know a handful of the reaction people, but I don't know all of them. I put into YouTube and it took me to a favorited link I had to Gordon Ramsay making fried chicken. Let me see real fast. RTTV. Let me see. And my stuff's a little slow right now. I wonder if it's just from the heat. I know my computer's been getting hotter. I actually want to get better fans. Eventually, when I upgrade my PC, I want to get liquid cooling. One thing we can do, too, RC. Oh, I don't know these guys. I saw one. It wasn't these dudes. There was another group one. They have like 1 million subscribers, and I haven't watched any of their content other than I did see they had some what's episode. I think they're in the 20s for a fairy tale, but I clicked on it because I think it was the Gajil fight or going no. I think it was them storming Phantom Lord, but it was like one dude was just he looked mad the entire time. But then I looked at some of their other videos, just not really watching them, but just skimming. And that guy just looks mad in every video, which I thought was pretty funny. What's up, Toxic? Oh, hang on. Let me, I gotta put on the volume for guests onto the stream. There we go.
Yeah.
Trying to get Quan to show up.
Yeah,
one of these dudes looks pissed off. Oh, Toxic might be fixing his mic. Just use cold milk as a cooling agent? That would worry me. Only Lunarian. I don't think the 3 races are confirmed yet. Yeah, but isn't the Giants pretty much confirmed because we know she tried and failed? Or was that more of those were 3 extinct races, right? Let me search that. I'm sure there's some theory thread on Reddit. Big Mom, 3 extinct races. Let me see if you can find anything. 3 races not found in Total Land, Giants, Lunarians, and a 3rd. Okay, yeah, so they're so far no sky. Okay, the 3-eyed. But I feel like those are variants because the Lunarians have a power, and on top of that, they have wings. They're a different skin color because it doesn't even seem like they're just brown. It's like a brown red. Long-limbed humans are considered rare animals rather than people? What? What? The long arms? People like Apu? See, I don't remember that. Oh, is it those guys? I have no idea. I just remember I watched one recently, and one dude just looked grumpy, and it doesn't even matter what's going on. He just looks because I think I watched initially I think I clicked on their reaction to Kenpachi Shikai, and then I was like, oh, they started Fairy Tail, and then I saw the guy looked mad. I was like, what is there to be mad? One dude got really hyped at Kenpachi, but this other dude just looks grumpy. He's just goddamn weeb shit. Why do I have to do this for this channel? He's trying to be is it Simon Pegg? That's his name? Yes. Yeah. This dude, why does this guy with the glasses look mad in every show that they do? Kaido's race is another thing. People say he's an ogre, sometimes humans confusing. Was that ever looked into? Because that was actually something that I was curious about when the arc started. I figured we were going to get. And he he says that Yamato is the child of an ogre, so I figured. I don't think that's just wording. I'm pretty sure that's actually what he's saying. I asked for water. I think she forgot. I'm gonna end up dying of dehydration.
Oh. So how you doing, Max?
Pokemon spawn. I forgot the thing today was only until 6. Tomorrow I gotta actually get some shinies. I need some shiny bugs.
You good?
I'm over here fucking up. Mad resting face. He just looks like the dude. Just looks like he's goddamn anime shit. Why can't we be talking about sports?
All right. Yeah, Rack, can you hear me?
Alright, I got my water. It was a close one.
Yeah, Rack, you able to hear me or not?
I don't know what this guy's talking about. There's some dude. Oh, I don't know what this guy. There's a post where it's saying Jujutsu Kaisen revolutionized the shonen. Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't understand that idea. What did they revolutionize? There's nothing really that Jujutsu Kaisen does that is new. I like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm not gonna pretend oh man, we've never had the dark edgier shonen. One second. Did she get stuck in here again? Rue, come here. Come here. Come here. Fucking cat. This cat I found. This was like a month ago. I was working and this cat just literally, like, I sat down because it was I was outside and it was super hot. And this cat just ran up to me. She's like 8-week-old kid. Rue, come here. She's a nice cat, but I mean, she's just really funny. She's one of those cats right now that she doesn't like to sit in one spot. So, like, she will almost never be in one location. She's got to be moving. So we're trying to get her to, like, calm the fuck down. So we're trying to keep her in, like, a set area until she chills just for a few days. So, but I'm letting her hang out in here with me. Rue, come here. For the most part, she actually comes when she's called. She stopped, like, itch your ear. Come here. Come here, kitty cat. Hi. Come here, Rue. What you doing, small cat? Someone is talking to you? Who's talking to me? Oh, toxic. Hang on. I think it's because I had it. Do I have you turned down? I don't know.
I think you do.
I thought you were away or something. Why can't I hear you? Oh, was my headset
No,
off? God damn it.
Yo.
It's because I didn't have any sound going through it for so long, so it just didn't turn on. Like, I didn't notice what's going on. I apologize.
Yo, what's up, Rex?
Hello.
There we go. I can hear you guys.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yo.
Cool.
We're just chilling in Rax's live stream right now. It's good.
Oh, you got
talking about some of these fights.
Yeah, we have some matchups.
We were just talking about Morgan and the light dark male. Who do you guys think would win?
Okay.
Sorry, what was the matchup? Morgan versus
male from Seven Deadly Sins when he was a fallen angel.
I am going to keep it entirely upfront with you. I do not know anything about Seven Deadly Sins scaling.
Wow.
Past, like, the initial showing up of the 10 Commandments.
Okay,
wow.
it depends. If you think Mael scales to, like, the god tiers of, like, which is not at all, but if you want, like, give him a little bonus, like, if you want to say he's up there in, like, the country ranges.
I think so, yeah.
Then it might be an interesting match depending on how you scale Paladin Morgan, but if not, Paladin Morgan should kind of take it mid-diff. But it's like
Paladin Morgan has the physical strength though to fight male.
Yeah, Maya has insane hacks with the commandments.
Because like the whole commandments summons weapons are really good. All 4 of them are really good ability. Like if he hits Morgan with the scythe, I don't know what Morgan's gonna do.
I'd say the only issue with 7 Deadly is like the speed scaling, because a lot of people think light speed 7 Deadly is contentious, which is interesting.
No, because like the goddess light should be as close to natural as possible, because the darkness for them and then the light for the goddess isn't as like, it's a passive ability that just ties to their race and the natural element. So I don't think so. I don't think it's like, random dude has light magic. I think this is way closer. Plus, we already had lightning speeds from Holy Knights.
Yeah, which are like really fodder now.
Lightning speed statements or something?
Huh?
Like early on?
Yeah. Yeah, they have like lightning speed statements in like early on into the series, like chapter 30s ranges.
Well,
again, like,
what is it?
Even
Gilthunder has lightning that comes directly from a lightning cloud, so it should be as fast as the lightning.
I was thinking more. I vaguely remember when he like clashes with Meliodas in the like invasion of the capital and all that. If I'm remembering correctly, at least I think he has like some lightning speed statements there as well.
I think so.
Like
I
for
don't remember.
Movement speed.
I don't remember off the
it's
top of my head,
like,
but I do.
It's like a little bit before. It was like before they fight Hensworth, and when he turned into like a demon with the blood. It was before that when Gilthunder and Meliodas were fighting, There's like some lightning speed statements in there.
Well,
Oh shit!
his lightning directly comes from a lightning cloud, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would
Oh, I
definitely
was
count
just
that
talking
because
about
it's
like
gonna
Guild
prove
Thunder's like
scientifically.
own movement speed as well. So like
Hmm.
it's not just that one attack. It's like it should scale to his movement speed and combat speed as well.
What does it say? Since
Yo,
All Might
now
is
Rex.
starting with a Mega Suit. How do you think Wall will fare? Wall would one shot All Might and one All for One. What are you talking about?
All right, I'm gonna keep it real with you,
Shoots one
Rex.
plasma blast.
Rex, I have a question.
What's up?
Wall versus All Might and AFO, like pretty interesting question, man. Like, who do you think wins? You know, the
Wall just
multi-continental character
Wall
or
just
like,
shoots him.
or like the large island level characters?
Like, well, not even like stats. Like he's got nuclear plasma. He literally has
They're getting
nuclear
burned by
plasma
Endeavor's
shots.
flames, bro.
Yeah, that sounds pretty niche.
He can shoot
Also,
them
not
from
too
like
short. I
he
know,
doesn't even have to be in the fight. He can shoot them from the other side of the country.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
That Wall's got this.
Okay.
That Wall's actually probably my favorite Spriggan. Design wise.
Oh yeah, design-wise, he's amazing. I like it.
Plus, I was appreciative that he could pull off that orange suit.
Oh yeah. So Rex, can we ask the real questions now?
What's up?
Uh, Stream. What we thinking, bro? Asta versus Meliodas.
See, I'm trying to think of like, to be honest, it's like Asta's the thing that Black Clover fans always overlook every time is every single time Asta fights anybody who's relevant that throws hands instead of spells, he gets his ass beaten. He gets every time. Like when has he ever been in a part where it's like some guy who was relevant in strength that was a melee fighter that Asta did fine against?
I mean, it's kind of a major plot point that Asta's able to pick up abilities from other swordsmen and use them in his own arsenal. Not only did he do that like with Kyoto, like he was able to incorporate Kyoto's swordsmanship that somewhat negates sensory abilities into his own after like a couple of exchanges. But also we see in his duel with Libe in the Devil Binding ritual, he's able to incorporate the swordsmanship of even the likes of Leif and Lumiere and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the fact that like again like even in that
Okay.
fight with
Now I
Libe,
think
because
about it.
Libe wasn't using magic; he was using
There was
anti-magic. Asta
a
didn't even
point
have anti-magic
in the
and
story, right, where like there's instances where like if they're like irrelevant in physical strength, Asta has a difficult time, but there's also times where he kind of overpowers them. I'd say a big example would be Beige Lucius. They're kind of going hand in hand.
yeah, like
That's
Asta,
base Lucius
Asta
though.
still,
Yeah, that's it's like it's just base Lucius. Like
Because Yasuga was smacking Asta around.
okay, Yasuga's wild, bro. Yasuga's
Yes,
built different, to be fair.
Diet Gajil, get that loser out of here.
I'm a Gajiel stan, so I'm gonna say W.
I'm
I mean,
actually
I love
I
Doggo.
like
Well, don't get me
Fujio.
wrong, but they are
See, I like Fujio, but I'm
I have like
actually a Yasuga hater.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
crazy.
so salty that his magic was so
Ain't Fu-
basic.
ain't Fujio the dude who was sitting in the tree,
He's
like
got
strumming his little
he's
thing?
got sound magic. Like that's way cooler than metal. Like just basic iron.
man, he got cool jams.
He's got a cat. He's
Kind of
got
interesting.
healing. He's got buffs.
I'm gonna be real. Like as a combatant, he's very versatile and useful. As a character, he's really not that interesting.
Yasuga or Fujio?
Fujio.
He hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah,
He's
that's kind
literally
of my
just hung
point.
out on
And
the side and played music.
and Yosuga's whole
Yeah,
hype is
that's
that
kind
he's
of my
like, oh,
point.
I'm the strongest free user. Like,
That's
geez, I
Yeah,
wonder.
he
okay.
actually proves it.
I'm not a fan of. He's just boring. Like he should have had a cooler magic. I was very disappointed that he just has an iron magic.
What magic would you
I
have
mean,
given him?
I think it works for his character.
Trying to think, because like if you were gonna give him iron magic, you could have done something cooler, like give him an iron Susano or something. But like I would have rather him had something weird, because it's like everybody has basic except for Fujio and Ichika. You have sound and darkness. So I mean, you could have given him something badass, like trying to think of what would be like warping magic, something just like out of nowhere, where it just all it does is like he swings and then it like picks up immediate speed or There's something really cool. Like if
You could have had something. Okay, honestly,
I
like
think
there is like these.
imagine if he was one of those swordsmen to where he's one of those guys where his whole thing is he just you don't see him move and he just on the other side of you and he puts his sword away.
There could be like another thing too. Like we know beast magic insists, right? So like, what if you step it up a tier and something like that?
See, that would have been
And because
cool.
like the whole like myth, right? Like okay, there's like the dragon that causes this terror. What if like the strongest reason had something like I don't know, like dragon magic or something similar to
What if
sorts?
his whole design was he had like mythical beast magic, and each one was styled after like the four guardian deities. So it's like phoenix, turtle, tiger, and dragon. And so
That could have been dope.
he has different fighting styles for each of them, and they each do something different. And you could give him
one
some
thing.
bullshit unfair power because he's supposed to be the strongest guy. So it's like, okay, that's fair. He's the top. But he just has iron magic, and he just stands there and he just melee attacks, which I just think is lame.
I mean, I don't know. I think it fits his character, though. I will say one thing that you could do if you want to give him something more obscure that still maintains the strength for his character that Iron Magic gives him. Maybe something like mass manipulation magic, so he's able to like. I guess kind of like have you read JJK, Rex?
Yeah, I've been reading
Yeah,
Jujutsu Kaisen
like
since like
like
chapter
Yuki
50.
Tsukumo's curse technique, something like that, where he's able to like give some kind of virtual mass or even just straight up just mass to an object with his magic power to increase its like
Yo,
striking power
Rex.
or something. But then also you can use it to like make someone heavier so it's harder for them to move. Or make himself heavier so he can take attacks better, something like that.
If he did something like that where it was like iron, but it was like density and weight distribution, that would be cool. But I mean, it's just you look at Ichika's fighting style, and she's got like this like cool gravitational pull movement type of fighting to where she can shift her opponent around at will, and then Yasuga's just like, yeah, I'm sturdy and I swing hard.
Yo, Rex, I got a question.
Hey, what's up?
I remember you debating this beforehand, but who do you got in a fight between Gaja and Yosuga?
I mean, he's a lightning rod. He just hits him with true lightning. Because
I'm sorry, wipes.
He just flies, and then he hits him with true lightning bolts.
Gaja got negged by Megicula, and then you've got Yasuga over here able to tango with.
I don't see Yasuga doing anything to Megicula.
Like a partial Devil Union Asta, who is midway through his Zetten training.
But that's a guy who is in a fighting style that benefits harder against Asta, like because their whole thing is they're physical fighters who use magic when they attack. But Gaja is a caster. Gaja is a ranged caster. Asta is a scary opponent for him.
Stats are just not even fair,
but this is
frankly.
Black Clover, so we know that power compatibility has a huge role in it. And if he's a lightning rod getting hit by if he's getting hit by true lightning, he has no defense against it.
Elemental interaction only really plays a role when two characters are like on the same kind of tier as each other.
Yeah, but true lightning doesn't have anything to do with magic. So mana skin, anything like that, irrelevant. So he hits him with an actual lightning bolt, it could just shut off his heart. And he's a lightning rod, so it's gonna hit him.
I'm sorry.
And he could just fly.
Hang on. Did you say true magic doesn't have anything to do with magic?
No, it becomes the actual element, so it's just real lightning at that point.
It's still magic. Real lightning in Black Clover it
becomes the actual version though. It's not mana anymore. It's made from mana, but it turns into the actual element. That's the whole reason why Svecking couldn't adapt. Not Svecking. Yeah, Svecking couldn't adapt to Lux magic. Because he became actual lightning. And Monaskin's not going to have the same level of defensive capabilities against the actual element versus a mana-based version. And if you're a lightning rod and you just get hit by something that by itself already ignores durability in the general sense, he could die just by having electricity cross his heart, and it just shuts down. Because that's internal on top of that.
I'm going to address those points one at a time. First of all, the Svenkin thing, the main issue for Svenkin there was that Luck just blatantly overpowered him with a significant number of rune arrays for his true magic. That was just like he didn't have the time or realistically the power to adapt to an attack that fast and that powerful was the main issue. Also, the whole point of true magic is that it imbues your attacks with nature's mana. That's why it's considered the natural form of the element. And it's a known thing in Black Clover that natural phenomena are empowered by nature's mana. So it's still magic. It's just a slightly altered form of magic because it imbues natural mana as well.
Let me find the exact description. Let me find the exact
Okay,
description
and
of
then
it.
again,
The
you've
whole,
got
the whole point
then,
that it's the whole point is that it staggers out of being magic and it becomes the actual version.
yes,
Because
it
then at that
becomes
point, it just seems ridiculous to use true magic if you could just continuously amp a spell using magic.
well, because the whole point is that you're drawing on nature's mana, which is way more vast than any human can
I'm
draw
looking.
on from
Where's
their
the
own power.
exact? What chapter was true magic introduced?
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've had to actually talk to someone about it. It's
Rolling
early
through.
200s, I think. Like 220s? I might be off on that.
I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, no, the whole point of true magic is that drawing on nature's mana, I believe the exact words Gaji uses are humans could never compare to the vast mana of nature.
But we know that's not true. Like there are multiple characters that are way stronger than that.
There are multiple characters that are way stronger than Gaji's true magic, yes, but the point
I mean,
is
Gaja's like
that,
one of the highest true magic people that we've ever seen. Like, is there anybody that has higher true magic than Gaja?
I mean, the point is the more powerful the individual, as well as the more skilled they are with true magic, the more potent their
Let me
true magic
see.
would be. So, like, if Gaja were to get a huge stat amp, then his true magic would become as
Let me
much
find
stronger.
this bitch. Says the true is literal. The spell generates real lightning. He literally says that true is as it says. That is a straight cut. It is it becomes real lightning.
And real lightning
So
in Black
it's
Clover
not mana based
contains
at that point.
nature's mana.
Because then
I
at that point, that I just don't see the point of having. Yeah, it's just a stronger version. That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I don't see what you're trying to say because true
It says
true
real
lightning,
lightning.
natural lightning. Yes, and
Like
real
Asta,
lightning
but
in Black
Asta,
Clover has nature's like
but that's
just a
like, but
naturally occurring
in that
thunderstorm
theory,
in
Asta
Black
being around
Clover
like
would
lava or
consume
water would just disintegrate or cease to be because anti-magic would
I mean,
affect it. But it's not the
why do you
case
think in the Witch's Forest arc, when Arthur first entered his black form, there were flowers and plants dying?
because mana is
Because
in the
the
flowers and
anti-magic
plants,
is
but flowers and plants are living creatures, or not creatures, living things where lightning is not. Like lightning is a product. Like there is stuff
the entire
influenced by
reason.
mana, like in the whatever the I can't even remember what they're called, dangerous mana zones, whatever the fuck. But
Oh, Grand Magic Regions.
yeah, grand
Yeah,
magic region,
I was gonna
grand magic
say like
games.
there is like
Come
there's
on,
like
Kabal.
time where like he like negates the magic and like kind of bubbles through
Like has Asta ever
lava creatures.
negated true magic?
No, he hasn't, but we've seen him negate.
That's what I
We've seen
mean.
him negate nature's mana, and being so is
yeah.
like when he's training with Marileona, he like cuts down and negates the magic of a golem made from the lavas, which is from nature's mana.
But that's a magic creature. That's a creature literally that's a magic
It's,
being. Whereas like
it's
lightning from a
the
cloud
main
doesn't
thing is
mean that
that
it's
same stuff
instantly
as the
made of
lava in the
mana.
region.
There's like
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, like,
there should be there realistically there are storms that are infused with mana, but not every lightning bolt is going to be from a mana based source.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm saying he
entire
should at least be able to like
It's-
negate like nature's mana in itself, which is like then I guess it's a debate. It's like okay, since true magic is formed from nature's mana, could he still negate it?
See, I don't think so. Just based off the fact he's never like Asta's never been close to where it is, and we saw him
I'm pretty
like
sure
scared of real lightning. His real lightning was gonna fuck him up.
I don't recall him being scared of real lightning. I was
It's
gonna say, I
it's
believe
an
in the
anime.
anime canon.
That's anime canon, but it's still canon.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the anime canon, I do believe he does negate some of Gaj's true lightning magic spell.
I don't
Not
think
like
that's
the
true.
same as the massive one he threw against Noel, like when they first showed up, but he does negate some of Gaj's true lightning magic spells.
See, I don't think
Uh,
I remember that fight. I don't think he does that.
Pretty sure he does. They're not huge ones. They're relatively smaller ones.
He negates some
Gaja,
spells that are influenced by runes, but not his true magic lightning. Because not every spell Gacha throws is true lightning.
I mean, the whole point of runes is that it infuses the spell with nature's mana.
Yeah, but
That's it allows
infusing
you
it
to
with
control.
nature's mana doesn't instantly make it true lightning. Because Luck didn't immediately have true lightning the second he started to put up runes.
I
None
mean,
of his
that
spells
Eh,
became true
it would
lightning
just be the
until
I,
level of
I was gonna
he hit
say,
that
and
would
to be
like
be
fair
the
too,
five layers.
level
I was
of
gonna say to
nature's
be
mana.
fair as well. Like there is like the series has always called it like whenever he does that, it's like okay, true lightning magic.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
has
just
a name.
random electricity go.
Well, because it's a variant. It's like how there's demon light magic and stuff. So it's just like, well, demon light is demon buffed, but true versions. The whole point is it's nature based and it's the actual version. That's why we don't have stuff
Mhm.
like true, like, I guess we do. True wool magic. Did we ever even get a true wool magic panel? I don't think so.
I don't think we get one specifically, but in the bigger like group attack the Black Bulls do when they show up to the Spade invasion, uh, I believe I mentioned that Noel and that were using true magic in that big spell, and then like it's implied
Let me
narratively that
see.
the others
It's
were
like
using it as well.
it's in the 270s. It's like I just pulled up immediately to the first thing I saw was Mereliona and the Ancient Demon and her not being able to melt snow. So embarrassing. Weak fire user. Come on. Let me see.
Almost like she's focusing on magic on the dude she's trying to kill. Or
The dude
something.
is on fire on the ground, and you're telling me that the snow around it isn't gonna melt?
I don't know, man. Wait, what if the snow is just like denser?
I mean, that's just fiction, but I just always found that funny.
No.
Let me see. God, I'm scrolling through
Oh,
parts
no.
and I'm just getting angry again. Fuego having trouble with mid-rank demons. Fuego, come on.
They did my boy
There
Fuego
we go.
Leon dirty.
Fuego is a disappointing individual. Like he legit,
I
he gets treated worse than Elfman. I don't really know what's up with him.
yeah no I'm still
No, it is true cotton. Okay,
I'm still
no.
holding on.
There is true cotton magic. She does call it true cotton.
Yeah,
Okay, that
which
is
to be fair does
confirmed.
make sense. The cotton does come from a plant and
That
stuff,
is
so it makes sense.
that is a good point. That is true. You do
Um,
have that one.
This is mad random. Rax, I got a question.
Yo, what's up?
What are your thoughts on the ancient demons? Like, which ancient demon do you think is stronger, the demon licked or the spade royals?
The demon like just logically, it makes so much more sense to be bigger and stronger from what we've seen. Like visually, the spade demons are not that big. We see them comparable to buildings and trees, and we see their head literally next to like a cabin. And then
we also see the demon that attacked the Clover Kingdom being comparable in size to the entire like mountain the Clover capital's
but
on.
that's a perspective shot. When we actually see it compared, and way more consistently so, we see it next to buildings and we see it next to the trees. The Lix demon, his skull is the size of a mountain. And from a narrative standpoint, you have two random spade human royals versus a four-leaf clover elder elf with all 10 magic stones. So
See, the
even
only
if you wanted to argue that
that
it's like, oh, in some shots it looks big, it isn't
even the only
logically
issue with
that
that
big.
is that, first of all, size isn't really that important a factor anyway. I just wanted to bring that up. But also,
Let's see.
the
I don't
main
agree with
issue with
that.
the main issue with the argument there is that Demon Licht is weaker than Zagreus. That is the whole reason that Licht becomes an ancient demon in the first place, to stop Zagreus manifesting, because if Zagreus manifested, there would be no stopping.
That has more to do with him taking the magic stones than it just being a power level thing. And the thing is, you can't say that size doesn't matter because the whole thing is
Also, I was gonna say, real quick.
their physical size is literally just mana. Like they're literally mana physical beings. So the amount of mana and size the size he is should determine how much mana he has. 'Cause
Volume
they're
doesn't equal
literally
density, though.
Well,
it
Licht
should if
didn't
that's
have
what they're made of, though.
Hold on. Licht didn't have his mana when he transformed. He had the negative mana until again, but that could be an argument though, because it is like negative mana. He has way more negative mana compared to them. You could argue that, I suppose.
He's a 4-leaf clover grimoire elf who's big. Who's a big deal for elves, and the idea though of just some random 2 unnamed spade humans, no outside sources being equal to him just doesn't make any narrative sense.
The thing is, first of all, we do know that magic grows stronger over the generations. That's a thing that's explicitly pointed out. And secondly, again, as I mentioned before, Demon Licht is weaker than Zagreb because that was the main reason he let himself become an ancient demon in the first place, was to stop Zagreb manifesting.
But I mean, that stopped Zagreb, though.
Meanwhile,
That would just mean that he wasn't stronger at the time. But if the form overpowered what Zagreb was going to do, that means that he's stronger than Zagreb.
Okay, but even then, at best, that means it overpowered like a spiritual body,
Because
incomplete, not even manifested Zagreb.
But the thing is,
Meanwhile,
if their bodies
the
are made of
spade
mana, their size should matter because it's an indicator of how much mana they have.
Okay, but if you let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thing is, with the Spade Demon, the one that came to Clover, was not able to negate a spell, or no, not a spell. Was not able to like. Or, sorry, get my words mixed up. It's like 1:30 in the morning where I am. But yeah, after Black Aster with his Devil Arm, training with Narc, in like Black Form 2, Black Divider is not able to cancel out a spell from the Spade Ancient Demon. And this is an Aster who is just massively, like, orders of magnitude more powerful than Zack.
Hold on a second.
And he needs to use Devil Union to actually cancel out that spell.
Here's a direct, like, hard to say. One of his blasts gets redirected by Kirsch, Nibra, and Solid. I'm not, like, you put Nibra, Solid, and Kirsch in front of Demon Licht, they're not doing anything.
I mean,
like,
here's
come
the
on,
thing.
like that's like you got to keep this in mind. Nibra or Solid even now should be below even the first time we ever see Valkyrie dress Noelle. And Valkyrie dress Noelle is not fighting Ancient Demon Licht.
Slight issue with that argument. You agreed earlier that the anime canon is still canon material and thus can be used, yes?
Yeah, but not if it contradicts things logically in the story. Because the anime canon can sit, but if the anime canon doesn't align with logical canon, then it doesn't really align. It's like how, what is it, people are trying to argue Strong World is canon for One Piece, but Strong World, even if they wanted it to be canon, it doesn't fit anywhere in the timeline because it would contradict multiple events. The Daphne arc in Fairy Tail cannot be canon by logic.
Blatantly is not canon.
Because it legitimately doesn't. It doesn't make any logical sense that Nibra, Solid, and Kirsch could do anything to something that took Lumiere in his prime to do. It just does
Here's
that's just
the thing.
silly. Because we know for a fact they aren't powerful.
We see in the anime canon.
Like they're struggling with random angels. Even after 3 years on top of that, like they're trash.
Random angels are unironically like way stronger than like a lot of the shit in Spade.
Are you gonna tell? Hold on, but do you think?
No, it's wild.
Do you think a random unnamed guardian angel, whatever they're called, is stronger than Demon Licht? Just one of them.
Yes, massively.
Come on, this is not Dragon Ball.
Angels are able to damage a Fuegoleon who
is trash.
15 months.
Fuegoleon couldn't even take down mid-rank demons.
15 months after he was able to damage half of Worm Lucifero.
Fuego couldn't even take down ancient demons with Salamander. Like, not ancient demons, mid-rank demons. Mid-rank demons walked out of his fire.
He was able to damage half of Worm Lucifero's body in the Spade invasion, and after 15 months of training and growth,
when did he hurt
He's struggling.
Lucifero?
Remember when like him and Mary Leona had to like they were trying to stop Lucifero's full manifestation?
Hold on, are you talking about the worm one, or are you talking about like?
Yeah, he's talking about Worm Lucifero.
Come on, Worm Lucifero was getting pushed back by the Black Bull's base. You're not
downplay my goal.
You're not telling me that. You tell me the Black Bull's base is there defending, outpacing Lumiere. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I agree that
this is not Dragon Ball, man. Come on.
I agree that it's kind of whack, but that's just how the scaling works out.
No, it's not. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that legitimately doesn't make any narrative sense at all. Like, Wizard King tier is still relevant.
Wizard King tier is still relevant because Julius is on the same level as base Lucius, who absorbed after absorbing both halves of Lucifero.
If you take start of series Julius and put him against current Kirsch, Nebra, and Solid, he's still botting all three of them.
Well, yeah, because in that instance, he's not going to get, like, nerfed by Lucius, and he's not going to have to worry about holding back to, like,
You could honestly probably put fresh Dimension Slash Yami against Kirsch, Nebra, and Solid, and he'd still style on him, even current. Like, you got to keep in mind, these guys are not strong. Like, be honest. These three are not strong. Like, the idea of them having like the capability to defend against something that took Lumiere to do just makes no sense. And it's
I agree that compared to other people in the same time period, they're fodder.
But it's like you have to do that. The only way to to try and make the argument is to assume the Spade Demon is as powerful as Licht, but that doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't make any logical sense, though.
Again, this Demon Licht is, as we established, weaker than Zagreed.
And that's an assumption, though, because when he became a demon, he Zagreed got pushed back, and we have nothing to really compare Demon Licht to Zagreed. And the thing is, like, Zagreed versus Weekend
still have the negative mana from when he became the demon.
If you put Zagreed against Licht and Lumiere, they're in their prime, and you take away Zagreed's whole, like, I can't be hurt unless you're arcane or whatever and shit, he's gonna lose. He would have lost the second that Aeon Slash came in. Because
Lumiere is more powerful as the recovered statue.
No, he's not. Stop. No, he is not.
He's literally being amped by the negative mana from Forbidden Magic.
He was on par with Licht. Licht did not have his Grimoire. Factually, they're weaker without their Grimoire, as we're seeing with Patri. Patri can't fight anymore because he doesn't have a Grimoire. That's a fact.
I mean,
we know for a fact. We know for a fact a Grimoire is a base boost by itself. Getting a Grimoire makes you are stronger literally just by getting a Grimoire.
That is true. However, Licht still had Demon Dweller at the time, so he didn't need his Grimoire to perform spells because he could do so through Demon Dweller.
See, that doesn't matter though, because that would mean that him at his prime would still have Demon Dweller, his other swords, and he would have his Grimoire. So regardless of with, like, even if he's got Demon Dweller, he's still going to be weaker than where he was with his Grimoire. So it makes no sense for him to be equal.
If you gave that version of Licht to Grimoire, he would get stronger, yes. But bear in mind, Licht is also being amped by the negative mana from when he became an ancient demon.
But what degree? You have no idea of where it could be. Whereas we're seeing him actually put up against him, and Lumiere is falling apart. Lumiere is literally falling apart.
Crumbling Lumiere is a different story. Like when Licht
doesn't have his Grimoire. He only has one of his swords. He's a swords master. Not having all of your arsenal is a massive gimp. Like, put Zor in a fight with one sword. Put Urza in a fight with one armor set and one weapon. Like, you take a character whose whole thing is technique and skill, you take away a majority of their moveset, they're gonna be weaker by default. Everything about their capabilities is reduced
have a wider
dramatically.
arsenal and be a more effective fighter. It doesn't affect his stats.
Yes, it would. The
Not having the other
Grimoire by itself
the
is going to affect
Grimoire,
his stats.
yeah.
What
The
his sword,
Grimoire would,
what
not
his
the other sword.
what his swords do, and how he utilizes them go entirely in how he fights, entirely in his moveset, entirely in how he formats it. We don't even know what the
Yeah.
purified version of the Demon Slayer sword does.
I mean, considering what we know from how Demon Dweller behaved in Licht's hands, its implied narrative would function the same, roughly the same.
Demon Dweller is better purified than it is not purified. Because Asta with it, he can absorb spells, but Licht literally would touch it and it would just absorb into it. He could move his sword, and at that point it turns into a ShamWow, and all of the mana just flows into it.
More experience. That's just an issue of Licht having more experience.
It's just a purified, better sword. Like, it has a higher end of abilities. Like, and then he could fire it back as beams. Asta can do little slashes. Even now, he can only do little slashes. Where's his anti-magic energy beam?
Again, that's an issue of Licht just having more experience.
We have no idea, but we don't know if the Demon Dweller can do that. We don't know if the Demon Dweller can do that as an anti-magic sword. We don't know if he has the capabilities of it.
We see it being able to use the same amp that Licht was able to with anti-magic, and that's a much more complex technique.
But that's not true. Asta can output anti-magic. He can't do what Licht was doing, where Licht was absorbing and getting more powerful just based off of people who are disconnected to. Asta can't absorb magic from people around him and convert it into anti-magic. He can't do that. So there are techniques. There are techniques and things the swords have shown they can do in addition when they're purified. They've shown things that Asta can't do, and you can't say that Asta's not as experienced, because this is the most experienced Asta's ever going to be, and he still can't do these things. He's still with the Demon Dweller. It's less
a decade more time with the swords. Asta got them at 15. He's 18 now. He's had 3 years.
This is literally Asta is in his peak. Asta is at the strongest. If you're gonna tell me that Asta still hasn't mastered this, that doesn't make any narrative sense. We know where Asta's at strength-wise. We know where he's at experience-wise, and we know where the series is at from a narrative and a conclusionary standpoint. It wouldn't make any sense if Asta's still... If he's at this level, he's at his peak, he's at a point where he is going to become Wizard King and finish the series within the next volume or so. If he still is like a greenhorn with these swords, that doesn't make sense. And he's seen, he's also seen, when he sees, we brought this up earlier, we brought up earlier that when he sees stuff, he's able to pick it up. So if he saw Licht do this and he has 2 to 3 years of time and he still can't do it, that's not consistent with the story. It makes more sense that the sword is different.
Being able to amp people with the sword.
But that's
there's also the fact that Asta's still figuring out how anti-magic as an ability works. That's one of the major points that's pointed out in the Black.
But right there, that's something different. It's a variable that doesn't go into the base construction of the Demon Dweller. So something that is changed and altered at a constructional and foundational level, it doesn't make sense for the sword to be the exact same if every single time we've seen it operate, it doesn't behave as it does when it's purified. As we've seen, anti-magic applied to stuff alters it. It doesn't just make it an anti-magic version. Like the katana by itself doesn't cut only what it wants to cut. That's something that it got once it got anti-magic.
Well,
when we saw Licht use
that was a non-magical blade being imbued with anti-magic,
but we don't know though
how the magic attributes and magical abilities, because not only do we see anti-magic working in conjunction with combo spells, which it would not do if it just fucked up that kind of magic, but we also see that Asta, when he gives out anti-magic to the Black Bulls, they're still using their magic attributes. They're just anti-magic versions.
But those are something. This is something that is going to be is switched and different though. It's not a 1-for-1 as we've seen. If it was a 1-for-1, Asta would have been doing stuff that he saw Licht do, but he can't. And we've never even given indicated scenes that he can get close to it, because they seem to just be straight different and altered once they get anti-magic. But once we saw the swords purified, it seemed they were more capable of their set abilities when it was just absorbing or doing an effects to magic. Being able to boost people with anti-magic and share his power does not translate the same as what it can do only as we've ever seen it purified. Assuming that he can just do these things when it's never been on screen or hinted is just headcanon. There's zero evidence for it. There's 200 chapters of content where Asta has had the chance to do it, but just doesn't.
So you're arguing that because Asta hasn't learned something yet, it's impossible, even though he's working off of, again, over a decade less experience than the person who also originally owned the swords.
But we already know once Asta sees it, he tends to pick things up. So if he saw it 2 or 3 years ago, and he still has never shown it, and we're literally in the end game. We're literally a volume from conclusion, and he hasn't done it. So assuming that he's just gonna learn it and he's just gonna do it doesn't really make any sense.
First of all, you're assuming that we're a volume from conclusion based on what exactly?
The fact that every single thing that gets put over in Giga finishes within 4 to 6 chapters consistently.
Not necessarily, and also the fact
the only series that hasn't was what D. Greyman.
Harvard has also explicitly stated that he still wants to take the time to give Black Clover the proper ending that it deserves.
That doesn't mean a number, though. That doesn't mean a number. That just means he wants it to end well.
I was gonna say there's Gintama. Gintama went for like 4 or 6 years after it switched.
Yeah.
No, it went for like how many chapters did it have after it switched?
But like Gintama, also saying that there's a lot more stories he wants to tell with Black Clover.
Gintama is really weird though, from what I've understood, because like doesn't the guy animate his own show and he like does everything himself? Gintama is like really weird. Like it's a kind of an outlier in manga and anime. So that's
actually no. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the Gintama author like makes like fake out endings, or like he'll write the ending and then he'll just make a new one and then a new one and then a new one. Like
I think that's true. I think I've seen that. Like I don't know for a fact. I didn't watch Gintama. Like I'm not a huge fan on too gaggy stuff.
I've been recommended it. I've just never had the time personally. Sounds pretty good, but there's also the fact that Harvard has stated that there's a lot more stories he wants to tell with Black.
That doesn't mean though that it's gonna. For one, that doesn't mean necessarily it's gonna be with Austin. That could easily just be in the Black Clover world. We don't know, as well as that could be stories for things like characters getting backstories. Are we gonna get something with Leopold Ever? Are we gonna get Lucius's backstory? Are we gonna find out Asta's dad or something? Stories does
in the manga.
Every single chapter is generally 50 to 60 pages. That's going to be about 4 to 5 chapters per chapter. So more than half a volume. Not relying... Toxic is seen for like 100 Years Quest, for example. When you don't do a lot of just like side content that is just done to fill up a chapter, you can move stuff pretty effectively and pretty efficiently in one volume. You don't have to spend 5 volumes doing some backstory. You could honestly, with 50 to 60 pages, you could get just set on Lucius's backstory and get a full open and close understanding of his lore without having to ever go back into another flashback. Easily. 4 to 5 chapters with the content, easily.
Okay, but there's also the fact that you've then got Noel's battle with Arcier.
Noel already got closure with Aesir. Like, it's literally just a fight. What else do we have to really get out of it? She already had closure with her mom.
She's had the closure because of from the abuse she suffered at the hands of her siblings, but now this is an entirely different situation. This is
her mom being mind controlled and manipulated. She met her mom's, but she actually met her mom's spirit, so she had closure with her when they beat Megicula. And she's already reconciled with her whole. She's reconciled with her whole family.
What the fuck are you doing to my mother?
It's literally just a fight. There's what do they get out of it other than just fighting her?
I mean, there's the actual character development moments of Noelle being able to say, "I know you want her. I know this is."
She already did that.
Yes, but there's more to explore with it.
Not really.
And you've got Marileona versus Morris. And
Marileona versus Morris is honestly like a non-fight. Like, that's such a mid-fight, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's not a good fight. If you told me Paladin Jack gets up, I'd say, okay, now we're talking about a cool what-if scenario. I'm gonna be honest. I had a lot of stock in Morris. Bad decision. Morris is a disappointment.
Yeah.
Morris is going to disappoint you. I'm just telling you that right now.
Clover. I adore Black Clover. Don't get me wrong. Like Black Clover is my favorite piece of fiction of all time. But yeah, no, Morris was.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now. The Morris fight it's gonna be Marileona is gonna do some crazy new end game move, and Morris is going to die, and that's it. Morris is as much as we're ever gonna get as that Diamond Captain, and he's gonna get treated about the same as all the Diamond Kingdom people. Like legitimately, the Diamond Kingdom people. That's Tabata's beat up people. That's his guys that he abuses. Every series has that group that gets abused by the offer. The Diamond Kingdom is that for Black Clover. Like, be honest.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, I have seen a lot of theories going around that the final
Don't say it.
Shining General
Don't
is going to be the
damn
host
it.
of the Earth Spirit.
Stop.
Again,
Like,
those are just theories.
this has been a
Those are
theory. This has been a theory since we saw that dude's silhouette.
Yeah, I know, but it's a theory that exists, and it's a possibility. Do I think it's gonna happen?
The best,
Probably not.
The best
Would it be
scenario,
cool?
the best scenario we could get with that is Mars shows back up and has the Earth Spirit, and that's it. Like the Earth Spirit reveal is legitimately. We might get it in the anime. Like that actually might be the best case scenario. So we get an anime arc that explores it.
It was unfortunately plausible. Yeah, but on the terms of the Marileona fight, obviously, again, I'm not a big fan of Morris either. But you've also got the fact that Marileona is having to essentially sacrifice her squad to get close to this man.
But she already said she was going to die in this fight. She intends to die. So, I mean, like, this is another one that it's like, all you can really get is a fight. We might get some cool closure with her, but I mean, some of these are just fights. And that's part of my problem is we need more paladins. The fact we have only, like, 2 paladins right now is horrendous. Adramalik, what is his point right now? What is he going to do?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Adramalik's going to be doing. There's a few people that think Adramalik's going to be some Black Zetsu type character. I don't think so personally, but there's definitely something going on with Adramalik, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Dude, I'm about to take a new move. Oh fuck, man, hang on a second, dude, come on. One second. I want that Ferrothorn. I'm about to take this stream on the go in a second. This is about to be a new age in the rack stream. Hold on.
Oh.
I have to go pick somebody up, so I'm about to take this stream on the mobile.
I got a question.
Hold on. Crap, how am I supposed to do this?
Oh.
I'm trying to figure this out in my head.
Fair enough. Not the top.
But, yeah, I don't have a lot of stock in some of these events right now. I would appreciate if that would change, but I mean, right now, a lot of these things present, there's zero threat outside of Lucius right now. Not like he needs more paladins. We need like 5 to 6 more paladins now.
I mean, I definitely think that Lucius has got a lot in reserve. Considering we've just like in the latest chapter, base Asta was able to cut into Lucius's arm.
That was a clone.
There's no way that that's gonna be it.
That was a clone.
Lucius is gonna have this stuff. What'd you say?
That was a clone though.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point. Like we're gonna see that. Like
I don't think the clones are as strong as the main one. I don't think that would make sense.
I hope then.
I feel like that would be kind of absurd. Like if they can't beat one Lucius, the idea of like 15, I don't see how they would win. Plus, I mean, like Lucius has to have another form. This can't be his only form. He has to have an upgrade.
Whether or not it's a transformation, I don't know, but I definitely think Lucius has more stuff in the bag, or at least he's going to get more stuff.
What we saw, he's only using Astaroth, based on the horns. So I assume with Lucifaro, he should have another like higher form, because he hasn't even used gravity magic, has he? Like other than make some rocks float.
He did use it once.
He made some rocks float. Like that's it.
What about Toda versus Ichigo?
What'd you say, Kimano?
What about Toda from UQ Holder versus Ichigo?
Toda? Like it's
Toda from JJ.
I got Ichigo. Like one Grand Ray Sarah is gonna fuck up Toto.
Like wait, hang on, Toto from JJK against Ichigo?
Toto from UQ Holder. The sequel to Najima.
I was about to say, bro. Like what? That
Let
was
me
JJK.
see.
That's like horrendous mismatch. You ain't got to do my boy
Don't
Toto like
Braxton
that.
drive. Yeah, you're
Well,
probably right.
Toto
I'll
was
probably end the
awesome.
stream and just go get him. This has been like 2 hours anyway. Anyway, we'll wrap it. Let me I'll take my phone with me. We can keep chatting, but I'm gonna end the stream. This is a good one. This closed out pretty much like how I wanted. I'm hoping next time we can get people earlier because I just want to